Hi everyone, it's Brittany and it's game day, or going to be game day very soon. So I wanted to bring you 3 fun new cocktails for you to try this weekend. So we're going to do a Bloody Mary and 2 champagne cocktails. So these are all easy to do. You can have them made ready ahead of time, and let's get started. Okay, so for the first cocktail, we're actually going to make, it's a champagne cocktail. So I have this glass, which is actually from the Blue Velvet in Madison. So it's one that I bar kleptoed forever ago, and I've always kept it. I would drink my Pink Squirrel martinis out of here, and that was my absolute favorite drink. I gotta shoot a video on that. I haven't made one in years, but love, love, love the Blue Velvet. Not sure if it's still there, so if it's still there, Blue Velvet, holler at me. So what I did is, they're kind of melting because it's really hot in the studio, but I made Motion W little ice cubes. So I tried to do it with the Jello shots. The little Motion W silicone mold didn't work that well, so that's why we have said Jello like so. So what you want to do is you want to gently put your Motion W's in your glass. So these are very thin. So this is something I would definitely put like on a chilled plate and keep it super cold. With the studio lights, they're all kind of melting, but I'll show you what it looks like. So go ahead and open your champs, and this one is Mum Napa Cuvée. One of my neighbors gave this to me, so I'm using it today. And you just want to slightly pour. So this is kind of a fun way to do a mimosa. If you have kids, this is just blackberry lemonade juice made into ice cube. If you have kids, you can use like 7-Up or Sprite, or if you're sober, you can do that as well too. And so you have this really fun, fizzy, pretty little mimosa with the fun little Motion W's. So one thing I wanted to tell you about too is sometimes you get a bottle of champagne, or someone brings a bottle of champagne to your party and it's a little sweeter. So this is a Cuvée M, which is a little too sweet for me. So one thing you can do is get your cranberry bitters and just do just a few drops in your drink. So it really helps to kind of cut down the sweetness. It has the regular cranberry taste, and it's awesome. So we'll go ahead and set that one aside, and as you can see, the blackberry juice is kind of breaking up in there. I'll move it a little bit closer so you can kind of see it. So it's really pretty. So if you don't have a Motion M or Motion W silicone mold, you can just use a regular ice cube tray. And if you're going to serve it in a regular champagne glass, if you get those like square ice cubes, those would work really well too, because those are thicker, so they'd last a little bit longer than these skinny ones. So the next thing we're going to do is, actually, I wanted to have the same concept with Jello shots, but it didn't work out so well. So definitely don't put Jello in the tiny little Motion W molds. So this is cherry Jello, just regular. I didn't get the sugar-free because it has like chemicals in it. And I mixed it with Grey Goose Cherry Noir vodka. So to make a Jello shot, you basically make Jello like you normally would, and then you add, instead of water, you add vodka. So what I like to do is, because you need the vodka to be pretty cold and I don't keep mine in the freezer, I fill up my 1-cup measuring cup with a bunch of ice, and then I pour the vodka over top, and then if I need to, just add a little bit of water to it. So there's your Jello shots, and you have those in there. So this is kind of another fun cocktail. The Jello and the champagne make it look really cool, and they kind of just bubble around. And it takes a while for it to dissolve, so you get this really kind of fun glass-like looking cocktail. So it's a little different, it's a little something more unique to have with your friends and family. And then as the bubbles release and as you drink it, you're gonna get that champagne flavor. So one thing we would always drink is called a hop, skip, and a jump. So that is beer, orange juice, and vodka. So this is kind of a similar thing. So you're having the carbonation from the champagne. You have the cherry, which is like loosely your juice, and then you have your vodka. So it's a really great drink. Looks awesome in the glass. I'll move the camera so you guys can see it, what it looks like in the glass a little bit better. See, it's really cool. There we go. And it just has a really nice fizz. And you can see our other drink has that beautiful shade of red as well too. If you grow your own roses and you're an organic gardener, you can use, I'm gonna bring my chair back in here. You can use the rose petals from your garden and crush those up and put those in the drinks as well too. I only grow yellow roses because I love yellow, and I've always kind of hated red roses, to be honest with you, because they're so boring. Everyone got red roses. And living in Texas, yellow rose of Texas, so I have yellow roses everywhere. All right, so for the last drink we're gonna do today is, it's gonna be a Bloody Mary, but I'm making it a little bit differently. So let me just move the camera down a little bit more so you can see. So I have this fun glass. This is another glass. I think I got it from Mondays maybe. So I just loved it. I actually got two, so I gave one to my brother. And it's just this cute little Budweiser glass. It's kind of small for a bloody glass compared to what most people like to drink up north. And as well in Austin, because you wouldn't believe it, but Texas is so German. And because it was settled by pretty much all Germans, like Wisconsin was. So in Wisconsin, like 80% of the population is German. Down here, it's pretty much you're either German, Tejano, or you're Mexican. So it's nice. So you can get all your German food in the grocery store and all those types of things. So that was a very pleasant surprise when I moved down here. So I put some limes in there. These are limes I grow in my lime tree in my garden. I really like to add lime to tomato. It just kind of cuts down the bite, gives it kind of a lift, refreshing. You could also use lemon if you want to. And this part makes a little bit of a mess, but this is Chicago steak seasoning by Penzeys, and I'm just going to sprinkle that around the glass. If you wanted to, you could empty a jar on a plate, but I don't want to waste all of it. And we already have the vodka in the bottom. So with Bloody Marys, you kind of pour to taste. And Bloodies are kind of hard because everyone likes them a different way. So what you want to do is possibly set up a Bloody Mary bar. A Bloody Mary bar, so people can kind of pick their own toppings, because people are super, super picky. And for me, for example, I'm not a super hot Bloody Mary drinker, so I bought Mateo's Gourmet Bloody Mary mix. It's gluten-free. It's made in Frisco, Texas. Texas people are really big about buying Texas products. So, and this one has tomato juice, water, lemon juice, hot pepper. So in the South, hot, in Texas, I should say, I don't know about the rest of the South, but in Texas, when it says hot, it means like really hot, not Wisconsin hot, like fire hot down here. So everything was like crazy spicy. So this was the most mild one I could get. And for me, it's still a little too spicy. Like I like my Bloody Marys a little bit smoother. So if a Bloody Mary is too spicy for you, you can add a little bit of water, or you can add tomato juice. If you don't have tomato juice, you can use half tomato paste, half water, or tomato sauce, excuse me, half tomato sauce, half water, you know, kind of mix it up or shake it in your cocktail shaker and then add your Bloody Mary mix. So that's kind of like, if you run out of tomato juice, that's a great way to do it. So I have my glass, I have my vodka, my limes in there. So I put one in the bottom because as I like to kind of like pound my drinks with my straw a lot. So that lime will kind of release as you're drinking. So it'll be really, really nice and refreshing. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Okay, so we're going to fill that to the top. And then you see the nice thing about the Chicago steak seasoning in is it has like all the things you want in a Bloody Mary. So it goes down to the bottom. You get that nice pepper flake. It's very savory. It's not real spicy, like pepper spicy, like black pepper spicy. It's awesome. And then I made a super fun garnish because believe it or not, but we actually have cheese curds in Texas. What? I know. I couldn't believe it when I saw them at H-E-B. And so I made a fun little skewer. So up north at Ditka's, their Bloody Marys were in Chicago when I lived there, were ridiculous. Like it was a meal. But I decided to make these kind of more light, more refreshing. And so I took one of my little metal picks that's from Target that I got however many Christmases ago. And it's just a cocktail pick. And I weaved prosciutto in between the different cheese curds. So in Texas, it's from... they're not Ellsworth cheese curds, which is the creamery by where I grew up, which are all white and fantastic and the best cheese curds in the world. But this one is from southern Wisconsin and Sun Prairie. I can't remember the name of the company, but they have white and yellow cheese curds in the bag. So I made it kind of like this, and you can just set it right there on top. So the great thing about Bloodies is that you have a vegetable, a little bit of booze, some protein, some fat. So it really is a complete meal in the glass. So I wanted to share these fun drinks with you. I just kind of came up with them today on a whim. So I hope you like them. I hope they give you ideas for your fun game day cocktails. Another thing that's really awesome with this, with the Bloody, is that if you're pregnant, you can totally just drink this without the vodka. Funny story, when I was pregnant with Snuggies, it was in January, so I had to be maybe like 4 or 5 months pregnant. My belly was just kind of in that sort of like, you look a little chubby stage. It wasn't quite popped out yet. And of course, Flip Cup was being played because we were at the Rose Bowl. It was the alumni party. My friend Annie was there. My friend Katie was there. Peggy Sue, like Teresa. Like it was like a ton of tri-adults. My husband's in Kappa Sig, so there's some Kappa Sig guys, Sig Up. You know, everything. It was awesome. And so, of course, Flip Cup breaks out because it's Wisconsin and we just need to come up with different ways to drink. Anyways, I love Flip Cup. I'm an anchor. I'm a Flip Cup all-star. Like, we played Survivor Flip Cup at Wisconsin. So, like, literally, as people got eliminated, you had to drink the whole thing. And let's just say, like, I killed at that too. So I wanted to play really bad, but they didn't have any non-alcoholic beer. And so the only thing I could drink to kind of feel like I was there and whatnot was, you know, virgin Bloody Marys or just basically tomato juice because they didn't have like cool Bloody Mary mix at the alumni tailgate. So I just kept getting big glasses of tomato juice for my tickets. So I would play Flip Cup with the tomato juice, and all these college kids thought I was like this effing rock star because I was playing Flip Cup with Bloodies, and it was hilarious. It was just like the biggest joke. I'm like, you guys are just weak sauce. So I'll post a picture up on my Instagram so you can see, which is at BeBeauty5, so BeBeauty5. And so you guys can see, but it was crazy. It was fun. And I kind of fell in love with Bloody Marys that day. I was never a big Bloody fan, but it was when you're pregnant and you're hungry and it's only liquids that you can choose from to fill your stomach, like, especially on an airplane, like a little bit of tomato juice, man, makes you feel awesome. So if you're pregnant, that's one way, and you haven't told everyone yet, that's one way you can kind of hide it from everyone. So I hope you liked my cocktails and that little fun story, and I really hope the Badgers win tomorrow. We're playing LSU at Lambeau Field, and Lambeau is just a magical place. When I was there, it was actually, I drove into Green Bay excited to train Ariel Beauty Supply there and on a new Clairol color line, and it was actually the day that, or the night, I was eating in Brett Favre's restaurant, and literally I got into town, I don't know, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I was coming from Chicago in traffic, and it's about 3 hours from Chicago to Green Bay, And all of a sudden, of course, they have ESPN on in Brett Favre's restaurant, and I had a lovely squash soup. It was really, really delicious and tasty and fantastic. And all of a sudden, I see Brett Favre going to the Vikings, and I was seeing at like the Marriott or whatever, which was also on Brett Favre Pass. And I looked at the bartender. I'm like, dude, you might want to get a new job tomorrow if this is really going to happen. So sure enough, the next morning it gets announced that Brett Favre is going to the Vikings, which was totally like a knife in the throat to everyone in Wisconsin. And when I got up in the morning, Brett Favre Pass became Brett Favre's ass on the street sign. And me just being like really dry humor and kind of like a smart ass, I went into the Packer Pro shop and I was like, hey, how are the Brett Favre jerseys selling today? And everyone was just kind of like so sad they couldn't even like laugh at it. And yeah, so it was a sad day. So I haven't been back to Lambeau since then. Obviously I live in Texas, so it's a little bit hard to get there. And I just pray to God the Packers are on TV. It kind of, the Dallas Cowboys kind of wrecked that for me. So but anyways, I digress. So there's the cocktails. I hope you like them. I hope you have a great, safe weekend. Take a cab, walk home. If you're partying too much, get a hotel room, but enjoy yourself and keep our fingers crossed for the Badgers because we have a very hard season coming up. So anyways, talk to you later. Bye.